Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy Fitzbug TV here, aka GLauren33, and I am back here tonight with your official WWE 2019 Clash of Champions review, reaction, and results. Alright, my name is Fitzbug TV, George, you guys. I want to welcome you guys to tonight's stream. You know, we were a little bit late. The show ended a little over an hour ago, but hey, you know, we had some things to take care of, if you guys know. But I want to, first of all, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody who came out for the Clash of Champions live stream. All right, we streamed most of the show tonight. All right, I ended it shortly after the SASHA versus BECKY match, which we'll get into. That's probably what we're going to talk about the most on tonight's podcast. But, you know, it definitely wasn't a bad show. Not going to lie. You know, a lot happened. A lot actually happened on this show. And, you know, it's building towards, you know, Hell in a Cell. We already have an idea of what some of the matches for Hell in a Cell is going to be. You know, definitely, we may see some rematches from tonight's show on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. But overall, this was not a bad show. A lot of people were going into this as a lot of people didn't even know that there was a pay-per-view tonight. And I blame WWE for that because really, you know, especially with the New York, the Madison Square Garden shows that we had earlier in the week. You know, some people didn't even know there was Clash Champions. They were focused on Stone Cold returning and Undertaker returning. And WWE didn't really make it a focus to let people know that, hey, this is Clash of Champions, you know. And they had every main roster pay-per-view. We saw some new champions tonight. We saw a lot of people retain their champions. Most of the title victories happened very early in the show. But there were some excellent matches. And, you know, some of these feuds that we see going into Hell in a Cell, I'm actually very excited for. You know, based on what we see, you know, even though some of the stuff we saw tonight was very predictable, I was very accurate on most of my predictions. But overall, this was not a bad show. Not a bad show whatsoever. You know, before we get into anything, you know, just let you guys know, tomorrow night, Monday Night Raw review. Make sure you guys are here for that. Tuesday night, we most likely will have a SmackDown Live review. You know, so it depends really. It's almost every Monday we go live, basically. But Tuesdays, it depends on something big happens with SmackDown. You know, because SmackDown is the B show. That's probably going to change based on all the reports we've heard about SmackDown Live going into SmackDown's move to Fox, going back to Friday Night SmackDown. But hey, you know, definitely, I'm excited. There's some things that definitely excited me after seeing what we got tonight. But well, yeah, we're gonna get into tonight's show. We're gonna talk about everything that happened tonight on Clash of Champions. SmackDown's move to Fox. And yeah, we're gonna, you know, that's what we're gonna do. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. So, alright, I have the notes on my phone. So basically, let me just pull those up real quick. Make sure in the comment section down below, if you guys are in the chat, I can't really see the chat right now. Usually I am able to, but for this video, the way I have it set up, it's set up a little bit differently. So unfortunately, I can't see what's going on in the live chat. So, but hey, we're gonna get into it. So, the first match, you know, we go through the pre-show very quickly. I didn't watch the Cruiserweight title match between Lynn Dorado, Carrillo, and Drew Gulak. I know that Drew Gulak won, and that's that. There's not much for me to say here. I did hear that most likely the Cruiserweight division is getting moved down to NXT. Alright, they're going to be ending 205 Live, and they're going to be adding the Cruiserweight division to NXT, which is something me and other people in IWC have been saying for years now. For years. And I'm very excited about this. I'm very happy because there's a lot of talented guys in the Cruiserweight division. But 205 Live has just never been able to get that focus. You know, if you go to a SmackDown Live show, you know, 205 Live takes up the third hour. So the show's basically 3 hours. Just the match on Monday Night Raw is 3 hours when you go there for live shows. So it is a 3-hour show, but it's nothing serious. There's nothing serious. Nothing really happens on those shows. Every once in a while, yeah, you might see a really good match. But hey, you know, we've seen talent like Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, Buddy Murphy, talent like that come from 205 Live. So there's definitely, talent on 205 Live that made it to the main roster. But just it's not much of a focal point. We don't see 205 Live on the USA Network because there's not enough viewers. It's not even that high on the chart for the WWE Network when it comes to weekly programming. So, it kind of sucks. But there is a lot of talent over there. It's just the way it's presented right now. It's just this is hard for people to get behind it. You already have 3 hours of Raw every week, another 2 hours of SmackDown. You have 1 hour of NXT, which is going to be bumped to 2 now that NXT is moving to USA in the next couple of weeks. Then you have 4 or 5 hour pay-per-views. All right, once to twice a month. That's a lot of wrestling. There's a lot of wrestling for us to consume. And to try to make us sit, no matter if it's on the WWE Network, to try to make us sit at home and watch another hour of wrestling, it's just really hard. We have lives. A lot of us have lives. But putting the Cruiserweight division on NXT will definitely make it better. For everybody involved, will make it better for NXT. It'll make it better for the Cruiserweight division. More eyes will definitely be on it. Because NXT, some people view NXT as the main roster, to be honest. So definitely the Cruiserweight division getting moved to NXT will definitely do a lot for that division, for that championship. And it'll be good for all the superstars involved. Junior, this is live. Yes, this is live, Junior. I'm not going to get mad this time. But next up, we had Cedric Alexander versus AJ Styles. I was surprised this match was on the pre-show. There's definitely stuff on the main show that could have been on the pre-show. This match should have been on the main card. This match was very short. AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander for the United States Championship. But for the time that we got, this match was excellent. Excellent. They're definitely setting this up for this feud to continue in the Hell in a Cell. Alright, it was very fast. Run out of the gate, we saw Cedric kick Styles with, I forget the move, but it was a Momoseiko driver, I think, something like that. But basically, Styles won this match very quick with the Styles Clash, and after the match, the OC continued to attack Cedric Alexander. So, there are rumors out there that Drew McIntyre is set to return soon, and Drew McIntyre was feuding with Cedric in the King of the Ring before then, and they want to continue that. So, either way, either Cedric's going to continue feuding with AJ, which I can definitely see going to Hell in a Cell based off of the attack tonight, or I can definitely see them going down the route of Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander. But, we'll have to wait and see. But either way, for the couple minutes that this match was, I love the pace. And, to be honest with you, this was better than almost anything Ricochet and Styles did in their feud. Alright? Ricochet and Styles, that feud had so much potential. It just seemed like WWE just didn't know where they wanted to go. Hot potato title. Honestly, they could have done a much better job booking that feud. Yes, Paddle Pod, this is live. We'll get to SASHA versus Becky. If you guys were in my live reaction, you guys know. You guys saw how I reacted to that match, man. But maybe one of my craziest live reactions of all time. Definitely, SASHA versus Becky was absolute fire. But we'll get to that a little bit later in the review. Getting into the main card, the show started off with Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman teaming up to defend the Raw Tag Team Championships. This would be one of 2 belts we would get during the night. But we know Seth and Braun, they would face off again in the main event over the Universal title, which was another fire match. I'm not going to sit here and lie. That match was brilliant for what it was. Brilliant. But we'll get to that a little later on in the show. There was a lot of good matches actually on this card. A lot of good matches. And, there was good moments here and there. And we're going to talk about this. Wasn't a terrible show. It really wasn't. Yes, basically I did pretty well in my prediction, very well in my predictions. But what was I gonna say? Yes, Seth Rollins. You could tell where this match was going. I had Ziggler and Rude winning this because I knew they were going to want to create some kind of conflict, some kind of animosity, some kind of tension between Strowman and Rollins going into their Universal title match. At first, I thought, they were gonna do the Universal title match right after the Raw Tag Team title match. If you guys remember back in 2015, when Seth Rollins was both the WWE Champion and the United States Champion, when he conveniently at the United Champions pay-per-view, he lost the United States Championship to John Cena, and then right afterwards he had to defend the WWE Championship against Sting. I thought they were gonna do something like this, go have one of your biggest plot points, very early on in the show, but they decided not to go down that route. But I knew to create tension, they were gonna have Seth and Strowman drop the titles in this situation. So Bobby Roode catches Seth with the glorious DDT, very clean DDT by Mr. Roode, and just like that, Ziggler and Roode win the Raw Tag Team titles. They win the Raw Tag Team Championships. Wasn't surprised by this. Now we're going to have to wait and see, because the last couple months, we've had teams that have just been put together and winning Tag Team Championships. No matter if it's Seth and Braun, now we have Roode and Ziggler. Who knows who's next? Next thing you know, we'll have Nicholas come back to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles with Braun Strowman. When Strowman I'm on the bet, Strowman's probably getting moved to SmackDown in the draft. Alright, honestly, after tonight, Strowman, there's nothing else for him to do on Raw. Legit nothing. But yeah, back to the match. Nothing special happened here. It's good to see Roode and Ziggler finally win something. Roode and Ziggler have been booked as losers for so long. But my only problem is they're not really a legit tag team. This tag team was formed legit 3 weeks ago. Yes, they won a championship. Congratulations from them. I'm happy that they actually won something, and they can say, yes, we finally did something. All right, because Ziggler's been buried on WWE TV since he returned. Roode's been buried for the last year. But the thing about it is, my problem is the Raw Tag Team Championship has been labeled as a joke, because it's been hot potatoed constantly every single month. All right, how many different Raw Tag Team titles have we? How many different Raw Tag Team champions have we had this year? Right, AOP held the title. Didn't AOP hold the titles at the beginning of the year or something like that? I forgot. And they changed hand over and over and over again. It went to like the OC at one point, went to Strowman and Rollins. Then it went now it's with Ziggler and Roode. So if you guys see the logic I'm trying to present here, the titles keep flipping back and forth, and it's annoying. It's annoying. We can't, no team can be legit become stars because they won't get, they aren't booked as legit teams. One thing I'm thinking is maybe we get Roode and Ziggler versus, the Usos. We haven't seen the Usos on live TV since the Raw reunion back in July. I believe, yeah, back in July, early August. So, I don't know, man. Ziggler and Roode are going to need some legit contenders. I don't think they're going. I think Seth's going to be dealing with Bray Wyatt going forward, so he's not really going to have time to put his attention back on the Raw Tag Team Championships with Strowman. But we'll have to wait and see. But I'm happy for Roode and Ziggler, man. But the Raw Tag Team titles, they continue to be flip-flop. They continue to be more of a joke, to be honest. And that's what happens. So afterwards, Junior, we'll talk about Lesnar a little bit later on in the show, because I actually have some interesting things to say about Brock Lesnar. I think I know what's next for Lesnar after tonight. But after the match, we see Strowman. He leaves the ring, and Charlie Caruso interviews him backstage, and he blames Rollins, creating that tension, creating that animosity between the two. Strowman blames Rollins for them losing the tag team titles, and later tonight he's going to lose the Universal title when he gets these hands. Alright. For the SmackDown Women's title, we had Charlotte Flair versus Bayley. This was a very, very, very quick match, and I was kind of surprised. The match, they were in Charlotte, North Carolina tonight, Charlotte's hometown. And, WWE, most of the time, they don't let superstars win in their hometown. I still have nightmares of when Charlotte beat SASHA at Hell in a Cell in Boston. I was actually there for that show. All right, and I still have nightmares about it. But We had Charlotte versus Bayley. Bayley actually got some boo. She was booed tonight because, of course, Charlotte's the hometown queen. Even though she's the heel, the crowd was clearly, easily on Charlotte's side. But we get into it. Basically, Charlotte beat the crap. The second the ring open, the bell opens, Charlotte hits Bayley with a big boot, and she was just beating Bayley up for the next 2-3 minutes. But out of nowhere, I'm forgetting the corner. One of the pads came off the corner apron, the corner apron. I'm forgetting what it actually is. But Bayley, when the ref's not looking, sends Charlotte flying into one, pins her 1, 2, 3, and out of nowhere, Bayley ran like legit. Bayley did not celebrate. She didn't get her hand raised. The second she, got the 1, 2, 3, she was out of there like a rabbit. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, the bell rang. She grabbed her title. 10 seconds. Didn't celebrate, didn't do nothing. She was out of there fast. I don't know why they did that. I know they're trying to make Bayley look like a heel with the heel tactics. Her escaping quickly. But still, and Bayley got booed tonight. But the thing about it is, you're not making us believe that Bayley's a heel because the way you're presenting her, with the way her gimmick is, she still looks like a babyface in a way. Yes, they're trying to present her as the heel that, wants to believe she's doing the right thing. But at the end of the day, she's not doing right. I'm going to keep saying for like the third straight week, get rid of the ponytail. Put your hair down. Get some new black attire. Put on some black eyelashes. Put on some weird black or like goth like makeup or something like that. Change your Titatron to get like a nice little darker version of your theme song. And then boom, you're good. But instead, WWE continues to present Bayley as this hugger. And as much as they want to make her look like a heel, they're not. It's not working. Tonight, the only reason why she got booed is because they were in Charlotte's hometown. That was legit the only reason why. And, as long as they do that, Bayley will never look like a heel on WWE TV. But she successfully retains. Congratulations to them. Moving on, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. We had the New Day versus the Revival. Alright. And the Revival won this match. I don't have much to say about this match. This match wasn't terrible. New Day and Revival, they're two of the best teams in the entire company. This was more focused on the story. Remember, Xavier Woods got taken out by the Revival a couple weeks ago in that attack with Randy Orton and the New Day. And remember, the Revival injured Xavier Woods' left leg. And that's what the Revival went after the entire match. Woods and BECKY did a good job of doing their babyface comebacks. And, but basically BECKY got taken out with a shatter machine at ringside. And then after that, the Revival just went the ham on Woods' leg. And they could have ended the match at any time, but they continued to beat down Woods. And then they forced Woods to tap out. And then after that, the Revival cut a promo afterwards saying, no more New Day, no more of that. Now we're bringing it back to the old school. And, I want to say congratulations to the Revival because now they're the only team in WWE history to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. They won those twice. To win the Raw Tag Team titles twice. And now they've won the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Alright? So they're the only team to win all 3 sets of main tag team titles in WWE. From NXT to the main roster. The only title they haven't won is the Women's Tag Team titles. But congratulations on the Revival on accomplishing that goal. I had the New Day winning this match because, they didn't really build a lot of this match. Basically the whole build of this match was that one attack they did on Xavier Woods. But hey, Woods did a great job selling that injury. And this match had a good story. This feud is definitely going to continue, probably most likely in the Hell in a Cell, which we'll see a rematch. But this was not a bad match at all, and hopefully they continue this going forward. These are definitely two of the best teams in the entire company, and they show that to you tonight. All right, we'll see this. We'll definitely get to see a rematch at Hell in a Cell, and I'm excited for it. I had the New Day winning this match, but I don't mind the Revival winning as long as they're not playing the flip flop the titles back and forth. Next up, the women's tag team titles. We had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Fire and Desire. there was a funny part of this match where, you know, backstage there was a segment where Bliss and Nikki were getting interviewed, and then R-Truth interrupted. R-Truth and Carmelo interrupted. R-Truth was running away because Alexa takes the mic and tells everyone where Truth is, because Truth, of course, is the 24/7 champion. But during this match, we see Bliss and Sonya going at it in the ring, and we see R-Truth with everyone attacking him, everyone after him, of course. We see R-Truth interrupt the women's tag team title match, and we actually see Alexa Bliss. We see Alexa Bliss actually try to pin R-Truth and become 24/7 champion. All right, very interesting. Of course, you know WWE would love to say Alexa Bliss, the only member of the women's roster to be the 24/7 champion. You know WWE would love to do that. All right, but hey, it is what it is. You know, this match wasn't anything special. You know, as I always say, you know, this was basically a heel versus heel match. But Nikki and Alexa, they were getting the cheers. You know, Nikki is more of a babyface than a heel, or a tweener at best. You know, Bliss, I don't know why they just don't go full circle with a babyface turn for her, because she already gets cheered. You know, and then 1 second she wants to act like a babyface, another second she wants to act like a heel. You know, honestly, you know, a babyface turn would work for Bliss. She needs it. She's been a heel for a pretty long time, and she's kind of stale. You know, she's been a heel since she came up from NXT. Even before that on NXT, I think it would be very good for Bliss if they turned her into a babyface. But Nikki and Bliss win. You know, definitely, I didn't see Fire and Desire, you know, winning this. Even though I love Sonya Deville, I think she has potential to be a women's champion one day. But the way, you know, you may be asking what's next for the women's tag team champions. They beaten the Iconics. They defeated Asuka and Kairi Sane, which I'm still baffled at just saying that. Now they've beaten Fire and Desire. They've beaten most of the teams in the women's division. You know, maybe I wouldn't be surprised if we see like Naomi and Natalya team up to go after them. What I've been saying now for a couple weeks now, once Sasha wins the Raw Women's Championship, no matter if it's tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, or, you know, more likely at Hell in a Cell in a couple weeks, no matter what they should do is they should do, and I'm losing my train of thought. They should do Sasha and Bayley against Alexa and Nikki, and have Sasha and Bayley win that match. So Sasha walks out with the Raw Women's title and one half of the tag team titles, and Bayley walks out with one half of the tag team titles and the SmackDown Women's Championship. That's what I would do. But yeah, Bliss and Nikki win. Next up, Intercontinental Championship: The Miz versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This was honestly not a bad match. I shitted on this in my preview predictions, you know, because I just didn't care. You know, it's hard for me to care about Miz as a babyface. You know, he's better off as a heel. And this match was predictable because I knew Sami Zayn was going to get involved, leading to Shinsuke winning. But this was not a bad match. You know, it was back and forth between these two. And it is what it is. Bayley's name is wrong. It's Pam, yes. Her name is Pam. But Mercedes legit called Bayley Pam in the documentary. So I'm just going to call her Pam. Alright. This might be the most boring and chill out. Pat, but I don't understand what you're trying to say. Alright, you gotta get your grammar correctly. I don't know if you're asking me to rant. There's not too much for me to rant about on this show. It wasn't a bad show. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a good show or a great show or anything like that. There was some pretty great matches on it. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. There were some good matches on this show, but it wasn't a terrible show. Though, if you want me to rant about how they booked this, how, you know, the most I'm gonna get mad at is maybe about the Sasha versus Becky match, which I'll get into in just a little bit. You know, we're almost at that point right now, but other than that, this was not a terrible show at all. And it actually built, and WWE, I'm not gonna lie, they actually built towards Hell in a Cell. They actually built towards Hell in a Cell. But moving on, where was I? Yes. Oh, you've never seen me so calm. I understand you. Yeah, well, you know, if you guys saw me versus Pat, you were in the live stream review. Not the live stream reaction. You saw how heated I was during the SASHA match, right? All right. Oh yeah, I love being on because you know I have to be honest. You know I can't come out here. I can't come on here and you know rant of everything because not yes WWE. There's a lot of problems, but not everything they do is terrible. Yes, WWE could be so much better, but you know tonight wasn't terrible. It was not terrible. Most of the decisions, in my opinion, made sense and actually built towards Hell in a Cell, which I can get behind. You know, if you're what you're doing makes sense and I can see where you're going with it, all right, and you're giving me a reason to tune back in the next night, you're doing your job. That's all I ask you. All I ask from WWE is to do stuff that makes sense and stuff that's gonna make me want to come back and watch again next week. And honestly, WWE did a good job of that tonight. It wasn't a perfect show. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was the best pay-per-view of the year. It was okay. It was okay. It was decent at the end of the day. But getting back into it, Shinsuke versus Miz, this was not a bad match. But I'm trying to remember what I'm saying. This was not a bad match at all. You know, I love the fact that Sami Zayn at the beginning of the match was a little bit annoying, but I got used to it. Sami Zayn just talking. You know, it's a great heel tactic because not only Miz not only had to deal with Shinsuke Nakamura wrestling him and trying to win the IC title, but he also had to deal with Sami Zayn at ringside being a pest, which is great heel tactics on the hands of Shinsuke and Sami Zayn. There was a point where Sami's mic got cut off. Miz takes the mic and he legit threw it all the way to the top of the ramp. He has pretty good aim. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Yeah, Pam probably is her nickname. But I was just looking at Twitter real quick. But you know, this match wasn't bad. There was a lot of close falls, but I knew where they were going with this. Miz hit a skull crush finale on Shinsuke, and basically there was part of me that thought, you know, I would have been surprised if Miz won the title tonight because especially with AEW, the way AEW's been. Here I am thinking, hey, you know, what if at Clash of Champions, you know, they have Miz win? Because, hey, AEW, Chris Jericho's the AEW World Champion, who has the most Intercontinental Champion wins of all time. Chris Jericho, I believe it's 9 or 10, all right, victory. So, you know, why not have Miz break the record, or at least tie the record, just for WWE to throw that in Chris Jericho's face? Even though I don't think Chris Jericho would really care at the end of the day. But this wasn't a bad match. You know, Miz hits the Scarcuss finale on Shinsuke. Right when it looks like Miz is going to win the title, get the 3 count. Of course, Sami Zayn gets involved. You know, the ref has to beat and throw him out of the ring. Miz goes after Sami, of course. This sets up Shinsuke to hit the Kinshasa and get the pin, get the victory. 1, 2, 3. WWE should bring back Halloween Havoc, which would be better than Hell in a Cell. Well, yes, I hate gimmick pay-per-views. I hate gimmick pay-per-views. Hate that. You know, if a feud calls for Hell in a Cell, and I'm definitely going to be talking about that in the next couple weeks, you know, especially because this happens every year, especially around this time when we get a lot of gimmick pay-per-views, like, you know, we get Hell in a Cell, we have TLC, you know, etc., etc., etc. This is the time of the year for gimmick pay-per-views, but it wasn't, you know, honestly, some of the feuds we saw tonight, some of the matches we saw tonight, they call for Hell in a Cell. They do call for Hell in a Cell. But Shinsuke Nakamura versus Miz, I don't know. We'll see if they continue this feud going forward. You know, Miz is a Raw superstar, unless they plan to move Miz to SmackDown to continue the feud. But it wasn't a bad match. You know, Shinsuke gets the win, and that's what happens. Next up, I want to talk about the WWE Championship real quick before we get to the Raw Women's Championship, just to get out of the way. Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. Out of the two matches, Sasha versus Becky and Kofi versus Kingston, those were the two matches I was most excited for this show. Alright, for this show. In my preview prediction, I had Kofi winning. I had Randy winning. Just because, Randy, he is a big name in WWE, one of WWE's biggest stars. And I thought going into SmackDown Live, SmackDown on Fox in the next couple weeks, you would want. And I'm not saying Kofi's not a big name, but Randy's legit a legend. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So will Kofi. Kofi's probably a first ballot Hall of Famer too. But Randy Orton, man, that he's on iconic level. All right, Randy's one of the greatest of all time. So, seeing what I thought it would make more sense for Randy to win. And Kofi's had a great title reign. He's been champion since Mania, and we're getting ready to walk into October. It's been almost 6 months. It's almost been half a year. Think about it. It's almost been half a year since Kofi won the WWE Championship, and he's been booked strongly all the way. I love Kofi Kingston, man. I love his reign. But this was a good match. They told the story. I love WWE's video package. If there's one thing WWE does great, they do amazing video packages. They have a really good editing team when it comes to making those things. And I love how they're highlighting the history of Kofi and Randy. And Kofi got his payback tonight. Kofi won. There was a couple of really good spots, like the RKO Randy hit on Kofi. This match was physical. These two went at it. All right, these two went at it. Kofi kicking out of the RKO. Honestly, I might go back and watch that match again. It was a really good match. It wasn't the best match on the card, but it was really good. Kofi winning with the Trouble in Paradise. It was great to see because I remember back in 2009 as a kid seeing Randy Orton defeat Kofi Kingston when Kofi was just becoming, a big name in WWE. Man, I got so mad. I would sit there and go like, damn it, Kofi lost, man. Kofi lost. Oh no. But it was good to see Kofi finally get his payback 10 years later, making Randy Orton look stupid. And there was a lot of crowd signs tonight. People had stupid signs. But I agree. I disagree with you, Bobby. I gotta be honest with you. I disagree with you. Kofi's reign. Yes, I don't agree with Kofi throwing pancakes. No WWE champion should be throwing pancakes. But if you look at what Kofi's done since Mania, all right, he's been booked strongly. Tell me how many times Kofi has lost on WWE television since Mania. All right, he's lost maybe once or twice in the last 5 months, clean on WWE television. All right, and look, the guy's good on the mic. All right, he's delivered very good promos. He's delivered very good matches. He's delivered good matches against KO, Dolph Ziggler, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin. He's had very, very good matches. That's Daniel Bryan. He's had very, very good matches. Very good matches. And, Kofi's been great. Kofi's been a great WWE champion. Yes, he should not be throwing pancakes. All right, no WWE champion should be out there throwing pancakes. I agree with you. All right, but Kofi has had a great run as WWE champion, and I thought it was gonna end tonight, but it didn't. It was great to finally get to see Kofi get his revenge on Randy Orton. Going into now in the Hell in a Cell, what I thought they were gonna do, I thought Randy was gonna win tonight, and then they would do the rematch and end the feud at Hell in a Cell right before SmackDown Live goes to Fox. But that's not the direction they're going. Now, we got to find Kofi a fresh opponent. And, whatever match Kofi has at WWE, at Hell in a Cell, should not be in the Hell in a Cell. Alright? No feud. Nothing you build in the next 3 or 4 weeks is deserving of being in Hell in a Cell for the WWE Championship. Alright? But, Junior, you did say something about Brock Lesnar. I think this is what's going to happen. With SmackDown Live being put on Fox, and, Fox wanting SmackDown Live to be serious and focused on in-ring action, this is what I think is going to happen. I think WWE is going to try to get as many big names on SmackDown Live as possible. Alright? Raw's still going to be the flagship show. Alright? Raw's still going to be the flagship show for WWE. But SmackDown is definitely going to be built a little bit stronger now. Alright? And, Becky Lynch, I think she's going to move to SmackDown. She's been advertised heavily for SmackDown. And that should just tell you where they're going with the whole SASHA and Becky program, which we'll get into in just a moment. But I think personally what they're planning is Kofi's next opponent. Kofi's run through a lot of the heels on the WWE roster now. Who else is he going to face at this point? Who else can legit face Kofi? Yes, maybe an Andrade, maybe a Buddy Murphy. All right, you know, Shane McMahon. God forbid they do that. All right, but there is definitely directions they could go with this feud, or for Kofi's next feud. I think the most you know logical thing is Brock Lesnar. He just re-signed a more long-term deal with WWE. So hey, what would make more sense? Have Lesnar come back, win the WWE Championship, and then be the face or be one of the faces of SmackDown Live. All right. Will they go down that direction? As much as I hate Lesnar, he's a big name. He's a big draw. All right, he's one of WWE's biggest draws. So I would not be surprised if they go down that direction. All right, Kofi's momentum is going to be at an all-time high after tonight. He just beat, you know, arguably his biggest rival ever in Randy Orton. Beat one of the best in the entire company. So, you know, you're going to need someone even bigger now. Because if you give us somebody like Andrade who hasn't been built up, if you give us somebody like, you know, Buddy Murphy who hasn't been built up properly yet, right? Then it's going to make Kofi just... It's not going to make Kofi look strong because Kofi just beat Randy Orton, and Buddy Murphy, people like that, are not nowhere near as strong as Randy Orton. So you need somebody as big or bigger than Randy Orton as a challenger now for Kofi Kingston. What's bigger than Brock Lesnar? Exactly. Or a Roman Reigns. But Roman Reigns, he looks like he's tied up with other matters, which we'll get into in a little bit. But Kofi wins tonight. I think what they're going to do is they're going to have Lesnar come back. Lesnar's going to attack Kofi. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they do on SmackDown Live this Tuesday. We see Lesnar come back via the wildcard rule, and probably in the WWE draft they'll make it official that Lesnar's a SmackDown superstar. At Hell in a Cell, we see Lesnar end Kofi's magical WWE Championship run. Moving on, we're going to get in, and we'll talk about the Raw Women's Championship in just a second. I just want to really quickly cover Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan. Alright, we had Eric Rowan. This was not a terrible match. This was a no DQ match. This was very physical. You know, there was lots of tables spots. There was chair shots. There was camera spots. You know, I'm not going to get into all the spots in those. But this was a very physical match. Alright, Eric Rowan, you know, he looked a little impressive. You know, even though I don't think they have any big major plans for Eric Rowan going forward. But still, Eric Rowan, you know, looked good tonight. He looked good tonight. He was kind of impressive. You know, Roman Reigns, it's the same usual thing with Roman. Nothing special there. But very definitely, I knew with them putting this match so late in the evening, because honestly, this is a match I would have put on the pre-show. Because I had no care. I had no care for this murder mystery. None of that. But honestly, you know, I knew somebody was going to have to get involved. Or somebody would have to be, no matter if it was Daniel Bryan or just somebody random. But Luke Harper, and I'm kind of surprised that Luke Harper came back tonight, and it makes perfect sense because Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, you know, they were the Bludgeon Brothers at one time before Luke Harper got injured. Then there was a point where we thought Luke was getting released because there was reports that Luke Harper had asked for his release from WWE, and you know but WWE was not giving it to him. It seemed like Luke was just not going to get released, probably because they didn't want Luke going to AEW. But, you know, somehow Luke and WWE were able to come to some kind of agreement because we saw Luke Harper tonight, and he was pretty badass. It was pretty cool to see Luke Harper. He looks in good shape, you know, definitely. And it looks like this feud's going to continue. Maybe, you know, because now it's 2-on-1, and now it's kind of being revealed that, you know, I think most likely SmackDown Live on Tuesday night, we're going to get it revealed that it was actually Luke Harper. He was the one that did the attacks on Eric Rowan. And, you know, it was Luke Harper that did the attacks on Roman, and Rowan knew the entire time. Hold on. Let me just open my window. It's getting hot in here. Just had to turn on the heat real quick. The air real quick. But what I think they're going to be doing going forward, is most likely, and I don't know, I don't really agree with this that much. I would not be surprised if they're playing for Daniel Bryan to turn babyface based off of what happened. Because there's really no need, unless you're trying to make some kind of heel stable with Bryan, Rowan, and Harper, which I'm not against. I just don't see them going that direction. All right. What I think they're gonna do is they're gonna, based off of what happened, you had Eric Rowan take Bryan out a couple weeks ago. They're probably gonna turn Bryan back into a babyface. All right. Have him team up with Roman to go after Harper and Rowan. Honestly, I would use Harper and Rowan because they weren't a bad tag team. Bring back the Bludgeon Brothers. You need more tag team. You need tag teams more than ever, especially with the WWE draft coming up. You need tag teams. So you have one right there. The Bludgeon Brothers were not a bad tag team. They were SmackDown. They were SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions at one point. Bring back the Bludgeon Brothers. Once you finish this program with Roman, right, you can put the Bludgeon Brothers in that tag team division. Compete with the New Day. Compete with the Revival. Compete with the I'm forgetting their names. Blue Cow Strong. I'm forgetting their names. Heavy Machinery. There we go. Have them compete with Heavy Machinery. You know, and probably, you know, they'll move another tag team or two over the SmackDown Live when we have the draft in a couple weeks. That's the way I would do it. All right, because Harper and Rowan, they're not a bad team. They're not bad together. So why not put them together? You know what I mean? But yes. Now, moving on, and everybody in the chat, get ready. You know, this is what you guys have been talking about, what you guys have been waiting for. The Raw Women's Championship, easily the main event of the night, in my opinion. Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. If you guys saw my, live reaction video, man, I was very, very, very passionate. Very, very, very ready for this match. I was so excited for this match. Sasha Banks comes out with the new blue and red and gold attire. You know, definitely the Raw Women's Championship around her waist with that attire would have been perfect. And we're definitely going to get it. Don't worry, just give it time. We're going to get it. But this match was fire. Becky Lynch, since WrestleMania, had not had any real momentum, any real challengers. No one really thought that Lacey Evans was ever a real title challenge for Becky. No one really thought that Natalya was a real challenger for Becky. Becky's momentum had gone all the way down. Sasha Banks easily coming back. And if you guys haven't yet, I did a 30-minute video on Sasha Banks' WWE Chronicle. So if you guys haven't checked that out, that video is live on the channel. I posted it earlier today. So go check that out after you guys are finished with the review. But I did this match was absolute fire. Absolute fire. It was physical. The crowd was into it. Sasha and Becky, there was a chance of let's go Sasha, let's go Becky, let's go Sasha, let's go Becky. This is easily one of the best women's matches we've seen all year. I don't know if I'm gonna say it's number one, all right, just because maybe there wasn't a real clean finish. But this feud is not over. It's far from over. This match was physical. The crowd was very, very, very hyped for this match. I really love that. You know, the let's go Sasha, let's go Becky chants. They were on fire. You know, the match was physical. Becky, and this was more about Becky getting payback because since Sasha came back, the night she came back when she absolutely destroyed Becky with the chair shots. Alright, Becky had yet to really get that payback on Banks. So this was more about revenge for Becky than, you know, defending the Raw Women's Championship. Alright. This match was physical. Sasha brought a chair into the ring, and there was multiple points where she was about to try to get herself disqualified. You know, but then Becky, there was a chance Becky got herself disqualified when she hit. I think she hit the ref with a chair when she was going for Sasha. She hit the ref with the chair, but there was no one there. The bell never rang. So if you guys saw my live stream reaction, I was like, the bell never rang. Just restart the match. Alright, because the ref was down for the entire time that Sasha and Becky were brawling. They were absolutely brawling. This match went over close to over 20 minutes. Sasha and Becky, they were brawling into the stands. You know, they were actually falling to some of the fans of the WWE Universe. Hold on, I just got a text message. Hold on, I gotta send this text message real quick. I'm sorry. I just had to send a very quick text. Anyway, back to the review. But Sasha and Becky are brawling into the crowd, very electrifying. They actually got into the arena a little bit, the outside of the arena, into the concession stands. So, and it was very funny. Becky takes a packet of mustard and starts spilling it over Sasha's back, and some of it got in her hair. And Sasha got angry at this. You know, they continue the fight up and down the arena, electrifying. And then Sasha looks at her hair and she smells the mustard and she gets pissed, like, are you kidding me right now? And, you know, they're in the ring, they're going at it. But Becky starts blasting Sasha with a chair, basically getting payback for the same thing that Becky had to sustain from Sasha weeks ago when Sasha first returned. Alright? This is what we've been looking for in the women's division. This is what we've been waiting for since WrestleMania. This is the kind of stuff Becky should have had coming after WrestleMania. This helped Becky regain a lot of that momentum that she lost. Becky needed this. Alright? Becky needed this. We know for a fact that Becky's getting moved to SmackDown Live in the draft. It's basically already been confirmed. They've been advertising Becky heavily. And with the draft, the next WWE draft being confirmed to be October 14th on Friday Night SmackDown Live, you know, definitely, you know, we got to look forward to this. We got to look forward to this. And basically, you know, it would have been too easy for them to give the title to Sasha. As much as I wanted Sasha to win the title tonight, you know, it makes sense why they didn't give her. You weren't going to have Sasha lose. There was no way you were going to have Sasha lose. Alright, it would have made everything that you did with her coming out of SummerSlam, you know, look pointless. Alright, with the thing we have tonight, we see Becky, she put Sasha in to disarm her while sitting on a chair, which looked actually pretty painful. Sasha was sitting there screaming. I had almost never seen Sasha scream like that. Mainly because Sasha's been a babyface the whole time she's been on the main roster. But Sasha's sitting there screaming in pain. Alright? And Becky's just not letting go. Refs, like 3 or 4 refs had to come out to basically stop the whole situation. And I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. But basically, they make the announcement. They never rang the bell, which is what confused me. They never rang the bell, which is what, if they rang the bell, because legit, if they had just had Becky walk out, just like this, the fans would have started booing and saying this is bullshit. The fact that they said Sasha won by disqualification, but Becky gets to keep the belt. Well, they didn't say. They said Becky Lynch has been disqualified. All right, but then they said Becky is still your Raw Women's Champion because, you know, you can't win the match. The only way Sasha could have won the match is by pinfall submission. And I absolutely love this match. Definitely the best match of the night. And where do they go from here? It's simple. They're going to do this at Hell in a Cell. And it would make sense for a lot of reasons why Sasha should win the title at Hell in a Cell. We know this. We know for a fact this feud, this story, it's ending with Sasha winning the title at Hell in a Cell no matter what. We know that for a fact. We know that Sasha's winning this at Hell in a Cell. It would make sense for a lot of reasons because Hell in a Cell, this program is going to end with Sasha winning at Hell in a Cell most likely because it would make sense. You know, Becky's getting moved to SmackDown Live. So basically, right after Sasha, you know, wins the title at Hell in a Cell, you don't need Sasha, you don't need Becky. All right, this is what you do, or this is what you could do. All right, let me, because I know I'm saying a lot at once. If you have Sasha win the title at Hell in a Cell, right, you could just end the program there because one, you can say that Sasha finally gets revenge. Sasha would have been the only woman at that point to be in 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Remember when she made an event against Charlotte at Hell in a Cell in 2016, right? That's 1. 2, Sasha finally gets payback. Because remember, Sasha lost the first women's Hell in a Cell match against Charlotte. Now she finally gets her win back in Hell in a Cell, right? She gets that Cell victory. And plus she can do that using anything. It's Hell in a Cell, no disqualification. Imagine Sasha and Becky fighting on top of the cell. Imagine, you know, the spots they could do. Alright, there's no DQ, so anything goes. So maybe we see Bayley get involved, alright, in a way. But still, you can, honestly, there's no way Sasha versus Becky should have made event Hell in a Cell. Everyone loved this feud. There's nobody that said anything bad about this feud on Twitter, on social media tonight. Everyone loved this match. Everybody did. Alright, or you could, and you know the thing about it is, if you have Sasha win the title at Hell in a Cell, alright, you don't need Becky to appear on Raw the next night, right? Becky doesn't appear on Raw the next night. Everyone's wondering, where's Becky Lynch, right? You have SmackDown Live. You have the WWE Draft 5 days after Hell in a Cell. You open up SmackDown Live on Fox with Becky Lynch appearing on SmackDown Live. Alright, showing that Becky's going to be one of the top stars, one of the top faces of SmackDown Live. We know Becky's getting moved to SmackDown just because of how highly advertised she's been advertised for SmackDown. Easily. I'm probably going to do another video later this week of why Sasha versus Becky should main event Hell in a Cell. But I'm going to probably wait until we see Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Because part of me thinks there's a chance we could see WWE do a rematch tomorrow night between Sasha and Becky. You know, they had Becky win tonight. Or not Becky didn't win, but they had Becky, you know, get her payback on Sasha. But this feud is far from over, clearly. This feud is definitely going into Hell in a Cell. But if they want, you know, we still have about a whole month to go. We still have about 4 weeks till to Hell in a Cell. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow night, because I definitely still think Becky would be better in the chaser role instead of being the champion, because Becky is legit at her best when she's chasing a champion. I think what they should do is, you know, tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, if they want, in Nashville, in the main event, you can do a rematch between Sasha and Becky, have Sasha win the title tomorrow night on Raw, and then end the feud at Hell in a Cell. So that way we get 3 matches out of this feud. Alright? Because definitely, if you only get 2 matches, I'll be a little bit disappointed. I definitely want to see 3 matches between these two. And since we almost all of us know this program has to end with Sasha winning the Raw Women's title, that's the way I think you should do it. Alright? If you're not going to have Sasha win the title tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw in Nashville, then Sasha's winning the title at Hell in a Cell. There's no and or ifs or buts. You weren't going to have Sasha lose tonight, you know, and WWE did a good job with this. Because honestly, you wanted Becky to look strong, especially with WWE 2K20 coming out and Becky being the cover athlete, especially with all that. And, you know, both Sasha and Becky still look strong coming out of this match, and still, Sasha gets the victory by DQ, because Sasha still can't lose. You can't have Sasha lose at all going forward, especially going to Hell in a Cell. So the WWE, you know, they had a tough task, because honestly this feud was kind of rushed, because they started the Sasha versus Becky feud right as Sasha came back. But hey, this was a great match tonight, one of the best women's matches we've seen all year. Definitely, I loved it, and definitely, hopefully, we see it again here tomorrow night. If not, we're gonna see it at Hell in a Cell. Getting into the final match on the show, the WWE Universal Title, Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman. This was probably Braun Strowman's best match on the main roster, easily. This was a good match. All right, it was kind of short. It was like less than 10 minutes, I think, but it was very physical, very physical. Rollins came out of the gate with super kicks, curb stomps, but Braun Strowman would keep getting up. They fought on the outside of the ring, absolutely brilliant. You know, there was a table spot when Rollins tried to go for a frog splash, but Strowman leaped off of the table, then got on the ring apron, threw Rollins down from the top rope, and did a flying. We saw Strowman fly off the top rope. He did a flying crossbody on a down Rollins. Crazy. Seeing Strowman jump off the rope, crazy. You're definitely gonna see. They're probably gonna put that on a T-shirt. You know, when you see like WWE commercials, this is WWE. You're gonna see images of Strowman jumping off the top rope. Oh man, I can't wait to see how WWE uses that for advertising and other things. But Rollins won this match by he had like 2 or 3 curb stomps on Strowman, and pitched him cleanly. What this tells me is Strowman has to be getting moved to SmackDown Live in the draft. There's nothing else for Strowman to do. He lost the Raw Tag Team title tonight. He lost the Universal Championship match tonight against Rollins. You know, Strowman's momentum. What you gonna have Strowman doing going into Hell in a Cell? Styles is still feuding with Cedric Alexander. honestly, Strowman might not even be on the Hell in a Cell show. Honestly, I would keep Strowman off of the Hell in a Cell show if you want. You know, we know after tonight, and I'll get into it in just a sec, we're going to be getting Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins. We know we're going to be getting that. But, if you want, you could do something like, you could have Strowman face Wyatt on, like, one of these editions of Monday Night Raw. And then you could have Bray Wyatt basically destroy Strowman. Just, you know, write Strowman off of TV for a little bit. Give Strowman a little bit of a break. And then, after Hell in a Cell, when the WWE draft, move Strowman to SmackDown when he can get a fresh start. Alright, it sucks because Strowman gets so many start and stop pushes. The fact that Strowman hasn't won the Universal title, you know, Strowman should have been Universal Champion by now. He should have won it against Lesnar 2 years ago at No Mercy. Alright, but the fact is, every time they build Strowman up just to have him lose, you know, his time on Raw needs to end. He needs, if anybody needs a fresh start, a move to another brand, Strowman needs to be moved to SmackDown. Alright, and for everything that Strowman is, you know, the guy, basically everything he does needs a gimmick because he's not a wrestler. He's just a guy that does a couple moves. Alright, mostly relies on power. This was his best, probably his best main roster match in the last 3 years. Alright, Rollins definitely burned it down tonight, even though I don't really care about Rollins still. But after the match, we see Rollins celebrating, and then Bray Wyatt comes out with the feint. Wyatt absolutely destroys Rollins. Rollins is legit sitting there screaming in pain. And then just with the WWE trademark, you know, as Clash Champions is going off the air, Wyatt just sitting there, it just over Rollins' body, man. Absolutely loving it. Even though we knew this was going to happen, almost everyone predicted this was going to happen tonight. We got confirmation. We're going to be getting Rollins versus Wyatt at Hell in a Cell. You know, is it deserving of a Hell in a Cell? Is it deserving of a Hell in a Cell match? No, it's not deserving of a Hell in a Cell match. But, you know, I won't be surprised WWE will probably put it inside Hell in a Cell. The only feud on WWE TV right now that is worthy of Hell in a Cell is SASHA versus Becky. That's the main reason why SASHA versus Becky should main event Hell in a Cell. Even though probably Wyatt versus Rollins is going to main event Hell in a Cell. And even though I disagree with Wyatt getting pushed so to the moon early, I don't care. At the end of the day, I want Wyatt as Universal Champion. I want him as Universal Champion, and hopefully we get that at Hell in a Cell. But great way to end the show. I just love that last image as the WWE logo, as the copyright symbol is showing. I just love that image of Wyatt just standing over a down of a knocked of an unconscious Seth Rollins. I absolutely loved it. But basically that's actually move on. There's nothing else to move on to. That's basically it. We covered the full show. This was not a bad show tonight. Not a bad show. Wasn't anything special. Easy Sasha Banks versus Becky was the best match of the night, and I'm so excited for this feud going forward. You know, hopefully tomorrow night, I won't be surprised if they do this. You know, if we get Sasha versus Becky, a rematch tomorrow night, you know, on Monday Night Raw, with Sasha winning the title, I'm with that 100%. Alright, but if they don't do a rematch tomorrow night, Sasha will definitely win the title at Hell in a Cell. I love what they're doing with this feud. Night of Champions wasn't a bad show. That's my thoughts on that. Make sure in the comment section, first of all, I want to say thank you guys for all that came through today. All the support you guys have been showing me this weekend, no matter my Dragon Ball videos, my MCU videos. Very, 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 very great night. Thank you guys for all those who showed support on my Sasha Banks video, my Sasha Banks WWE Chronicle video that I posted earlier today. If you guys haven't checked out that video yet, make sure to go see it. It is live on the channel. Thank you all who came out to the live reaction stream earlier in the night. And thank you everyone that came through for the review tonight. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for all the support. I love you guys, man. And I hope to see you guys here for the Monday Night Raw review tomorrow. What else? Follow me on social media. The links for that are in the description down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and enable notifications by clicking the bell right next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Monday Night Raw review. Have a great night, everyone. And let me find the end stream button. Let me find that real quick.